Welcome back to Full House Games. I am Caleb, and joining me is Jonathan Winter.
Hey.
And of course, we're here with Corey on the left, who is playing a junk deck against our resident king of the hill, Adrian, who's playing Mud 12 Post. What a weird combination. In all honesty, it's a deck that I don't know, it can go off pretty crazily, as we've seen before for Adrian, but at the same time, lots of tap lands means stuff isn't happening sometimes.
It's just it's just an explosive deck. You get a critical turn where you unleash your weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all these great deathly artifacts, and that's mud for you. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes your
That's
bombs
a
just
quick
fizzle.
Knight of the Reliquary. So this is a
That
problem
is.
for Adrian because Knight can obviously search for wastelands to shut down Adrian's mana.
That's true, and that's only going to swell the night even more. Like, it'll grow 2 every time he wastes his opponent's... If he uses the knight to do that, it will grow by 2 every time he wastes.
Yeah, he shouldn't. I mean, he should just. I guess neither of those lands are particularly spicy at this point, but I think Corey should still just be wastelanding every turn from here on out.
Yeah. You basically want to hit a Crucible of Worlds and then just do it, right? Like, that's optimal line.
Yeah. He needs. It'd be nice to have a Goyf or something like that. Oh, that'll do.
Goyf's a bit small at this stage, but yeah, it could get there.
Is he just attacking with the knight? It's a bit risky.
Okay.
Oh, Adrian's missing land drops now. He might be protecting his ancient tombs from wasteland by not playing them.
Yeah, I can see that. But in the same line, yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't just fetch Wastelands almost every turn, because it is just crushing for his opponent. In a deck that does nothing but play non-basics, it's basically like your own personal Sundering Titan. Okay, what are you fetching now?
He's probably going to wasteland the factory so that he can get in with Deathrite. Yeah, Adrian has seen enough.
Alright, and yep, Adrian's down with the sickness. He knows what's going on, and is just going to concede to the wasteland every turn.
Looks like Corey's sporting the anime Jace as a playmat.
Your thoughts?
I think it's one of the weaker Jaces. My favourite, I think, is Architect of Thought. He's got that whole Superman thing going on with Architect of Thought. This one's kind of emo.
Yeah, I don't know. The Japanese art style on the Jace vs Chandra decks, which is the Jace vs Vraska one.
I quite like that one, to be honest.
The Jace vs... He looks even younger than Babyface Jace.
I guess.
Which is, I mean, probably not a problem when you're a Planeswalker and some millions of aeons old, but still, I mean, come on. There's a fine line between toddler and guy with a mustache. Adrian trying to reveal his hand there, but going a bit too high.
He's obviously a pro at being
on camera.
Under the camera now, so...
Fair enough. Yeah, and I mean, he has done well with some pretty sick rips and just sick hands in general. Corey should probably know what Adrian's on at this stage, and be sideboarding accordingly. I mean, you probably want to bring in Grafdigger's Cage if you're coring, as well as some other stuff.
Because Grafdigger's Cage turns off Forge Master.
Kind of. I mean, you can still get Staff of Dominion and go for that infinite combo that we saw earlier.
Mm.
But I mean, yeah, it indirectly turns him off having it, and it's harder to it's harder to obviously play those lines, or it's harder to win if he doesn't have that. Okay, cool. The stream is not frozen there, of course. We just had a bit of a delay in Corey offering up the deck. But this is, of course, round 4, so winner takes all right now. And
Well, takes most.
takes $40 store credit.
Yeah.
Good reason to come on down and play. And the loser gets a booster. So,
No, loser gets 10. Well,
oh, $10 store credit, or 2 boosters. It's your choice. You could take away 2 boosters, or not. Or
Well,
$10 store
Adrian
credit.
has
Again.
been in this situation 1 game down, so I wouldn't count him out yet.
Yeah, it seems like he's lost the first round in almost all of them.
I think he 2-0'd them.
Except for Mark, yeah. Which is unfortunate, but still.
Oh, what do you name? Did you name like Verdant Catacombs and try and get him, or do you just name Deathrite Shaman?
Look, I've done that, but not without knowing what land they played first. I mean,
probably names.
I've played
Knight of the
Pithing
Reliquary.
Needle and named the land that they didn't crack in response. But yeah, it's probably Knight of the Reliquary, or probably even Deathrite Shaman.
I think Knight is the one you're most scared of, so if I were him, I'd be naming Knight.
True, but that looks like an explosive.
Or Wasteland. Wasteland is probably the best one.
Actually, yeah.
Except you can't name lands.
No, with Phyrexian Revoker. He could have named Deathrite Shaman though, if he knew he had the
What's the Revoker's thingy? Is it lands? It can't name lands.
Yeah, it can't name lands.
So it can't name.
Pithing Needle can,
Yeah.
Revoker can't, because Revoker comes with a 2/1 body that can just beat you in the face.
I guess so.
I mean, it's good enough reason to run it. Oh, sick Bajuka Bog.
Yeah.
So what I'm guessing from Corey is that he's running low on stuff to play.
It's just a slow start.
It's a beat for 7. Yeah, I don't know. If he's got
So we're
another
up to 10 damage now.
got another Lodestone Golem from that's a Phyrexian Revoker. Sorry, Phyrexian Metamorph copying Lodestone Golem. So Corey needs another land into what? A Path of Exile?
What's he on? 10. Yeah, he needs running removal spells. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going to do it.
Oh. You have to trade. And then you look at the top card of your library, and if it's not a Terminus, you can see the game. Yep, there it is. So, yeah, Adrian took, what, 12 damage there?
Yeah, well, you
from
don't-
his land, but, like, there's a stage where you just don't care because your opponent can't play anything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where you want to be with Mud. I'll take all the damage that I want because you can't do anything. Suck it.
Yeah.
It's particularly potent when you can slam something like the boots on turn 1 into whatever else on turn 2. And
Yeah, well, we saw that epic turn 2 he had in the last round.
yeah, I think if Mud can actually get a taxing effect out early, like Trinosphere or Lodestone Golem, they have like a 100% win rate against Dredge, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because how does Manaless Dredge win from there? You can't even LED for... Oh, I mean, you could LED and play something through Trinosphere, but you can't cast LED. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like Mud. Mud has a favourable matchup, I'd say. I don't know about playing against Junk. I would favour Mud, but who knows? If Corey's able to rip that Knight of the Reliquary pretty early, then it looks like it's his game.
Wasteland is the key for Junk.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, it's a pretty good card for Adrian to rip as well, but there's a certain extent where it's not as valuable, right?
The way Adrian is running, you'd think Mud was just the best deck in the format.
Well,
It seems to be crushing.
isn't it?
Well, it's certainly a runner in contention for being the coolest deck in Legacy.
The coolest deck.
Yeah.
Really? I hate playing against Mud.
Oh, isn't it a bit of good fun being beaten down by turn 2 6/6 lifelink death touch?
Sure.
Worms?
Sure. Whatever you say, Jono.
Deck's funky.
It's certainly not as well. I mean, I guess it's easy to brew, and that's pretty fun, because you can just put whatever bombs you want in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Birthing Pot Mud needs to happen. Chop chop. Instead of Kildaltha Forge Master.
So that's the last game now.
This will definitely be the last game.
Corey's looking for Deathrite, flanked by a couple of Wastelands, and that should
Or a Knight
put
of
him
the
in a
Reliquary.
strong position.
Yeah, you either want Deathrite, Wasteland, or Deathrite, Knight of the Reliquary, Wasteland. That being said, 2 turns might be too much if Adrian actually has a really explosive start like last time. So it's all down to what he can rip. And that's a Verdant Catacombs to start off with, which should put him in good position if he gets that Deathrite Shaman out.
Yeah. He's got some kind of turn 1 play, so we're about to find out. Is that a shock
Or
land?
that's a shock land. And it's coming into play tapped. So nothing? And then it's Adrian's turn? Or
Adrian had
Oh,
no play,
Adrian has missed a land drop.
so something weird is going on here.
So he either has a...
Did he mulligan?
No, I don't think so. So he must have a really spicy hand.
He might have like a double grim monolith kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
Getting a life? Yeah. I'm down. Can you get down? He's going to be facing down a Batterskull really quickly if he has nothing to do. Well, at least he can tap for black now.
Yes. Did he fetch Batterskull with Stoneforge?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a 4/4 lifelink vigilance dude that he's going to have to beat.
What on earth did Adrian keep? Did he forget to play a land? That seems unlikely, right?
No, he's got a Vesuva, so maybe he just kept a hand with Vesuvas in them, and then ripped the...
You can copy your opponent's land though, right?
But it was a shock land. It was a fetch land.
Oh.
So maybe his opponent just screwed him by playing a fetch land on turn 1 and not cracking it for his one drop.
A very interesting interaction there. So there's no way Corey could have predicted that.
Yeah, no, that just seems like an accident that luckily happened, but it's, Adrian's fault for keeping Vesuvas. He must have a spicy hand.
Well, that's 2 cloud posts, so he's going to have some mana to work with.
But they're glimmer posts, so it's just life gain.
Oh, well, in that case, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, yeah. And he's played another Stoneforge to fetch a Jit, which he's just going to straight up cast. That's gross. This doesn't look good for Adrian.
So what he needs is Ancient Tomb, Greaves, Metalworker, and then he's away.
Yeah. Yeah, what have we got? What are we going to see? Gain another bunch of life. Gain another bunch of life. So if he just had Vesuvas, then I can see why he might have kept it. And just sometimes you luck out and your opponent plays a fetch land.
Are we in Adrian's turn here?
I believe so, because his land is untapped, so yes.
He has to have an extremely strong play this turn, otherwise we should be going... Well, that'll be it.
We could...
Yeah.
What do you
So
name?
you got a Jit, so you'll have named Jit, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you named it here. Just
Adrian's on quite a lot of life though, so he's not dead yet.
no, absolutely not.
But that's the wrong type of post. Oh, okay.
Okay. So Basalt Monolith.
Yeah, he had the Greaves. He kept a hand with Greaves, thinking he could rip an Ancient Tomb and then in one turn play multiple bombs.
Well, he had 2 Basalt Monoliths by the look of things, so he could have... I mean, I guess he couldn't have played the Worm Coil, but if he had have waited a turn, he would have been able to play Basalt Monolith into Metalworker Greaves, tap for mana, Worm Coil, Greaves on Worm Coil, swing, blocks. I mean, he named... I guess the Jit blows him out. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Jit just blows him out.
didn't quite go unbeaten, but we got a good look at his deck anyway. I think he's been playing it for a while. I've played against him with this deck before and been infinited with the...
With the Staff of
with
Dominion?
Stick with a bunch of abilities.
You got dominated by his Dominion stuff?
Yeah, that one time.
It's a pretty good combo. It doesn't really happen altogether that often, but it's still pretty good.
That's what I like about Legacy and Modern, above Standard, is that you, with such big card pools, you can make a custom deck that can win,
Yeah, absolutely.
Standard doesn't give you that option sometimes, especially when the format is well understood and developed. It's just
especially towards the end of sets where stuff's about to rotate.
so,
But that should improve with the new 2 sets per block.
yeah, well,
that's going on.
We'll know in about a year's time or so, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, that was Legacy Tuesday. Please stay tuned for Full House games for Magic and more.